Hello everyone, and welcome to our Transportation and Logistics Issues Final Examination Revision. In this session, we are going to look at transportation from a wider perspective. We will not focus only on trucks, ships, aircraft, or roads. Instead, I want you to understand how transportation is connected to government policy, economic activity, international trade, and business performance. Let us begin with politics and government policy. You may think that transportation decisions are mainly operational, but government decisions can strongly influence how efficiently goods move. Governments establish policies relating to ports, customs procedures, taxation, transportation safety, and infrastructure investment. When a government invests in efficient highways, ports, and digital customs systems, logistics companies may experience shorter lead times and lower operating costs. But the opposite can also happen. Complicated regulations, sudden policy changes, or inefficient customs procedures can increase delays and uncertainty. You should also consider international political relations. Transportation networks operate across countries, so geopolitical events can disrupt established routes. Imagine that political tensions make an important shipping corridor unsafe. Shipping companies may need to use a longer alternative route. What happens? Transit time increases. Fuel consumption may increase. Insurance costs may rise. Delivery schedules become less predictable. This is why logistics managers need contingency plans. You cannot control international politics, but you can prepare alternative routes, suppliers, or transportation arrangements. Now connect this with transportation logistics management. The main principles include planning, coordination, resource optimization, and information sharing. Think about a busy cargo terminal. Managers need to coordinate schedules, cargo priorities, equipment, and labor. Poor coordination creates waiting time. Better coordination improves asset utilization and service performance. Environmental policy is another important influence. Governments and international organizations increasingly require transportation operators to reduce emissions. This encourages cleaner vehicles, energy-efficient equipment, and better operating practices. Regulatory compliance is equally important. Customs rules, security standards, and transportation regulations must be followed. Failure to comply can result in inspections, delays, penalties, and reputational damage. So remember this connection. Government policy influences transportation. Transportation decisions influence logistics performance. Logistics performance influences businesses and the economy. Now, let us extend that discussion to transportation infrastructure. Think about a national highway. It is not simply a road. It is a logistics corridor connecting factories, warehouses, ports, farms, retailers, and customers. Good infrastructure allows trucks to travel more reliably. It can reduce vehicle operating costs and improve delivery performance. Poor infrastructure creates the opposite effect. Toll pricing is another issue. Higher toll charges increase costs for transport operators. Some of these costs may eventually be transferred to manufacturers, retailers, or customers. But there is a trade-off. Toll revenue may also help maintain and improve the infrastructure that logistics companies depend upon. Route optimization is equally important. Logistics companies need to consider distance, congestion, toll costs, delivery windows, and vehicle schedules. Reliable highways can also support just-in-time operations, because delivery times become more predictable. Do not forget road safety. Vehicle inspections, speed limits, driver working hours, and axle load requirements may appear to be regulatory issues, but they also affect logistics performance. Accidents can cause congestion, cargo damage, higher insurance costs, and delivery delays. Finally, modern transportation infrastructure is becoming increasingly digital. Real-time traffic information, electronic toll systems, and highway alerts allow companies to change routes or departure times. So infrastructure is no longer only physical. It increasingly combines roads with information. We have now seen how government policy and infrastructure shape transportation performance. But this leads to a bigger question. Why does transportation matter so much to the economy? If have you come this far, please don't forget to give a thumbs up and press the bell icon. Now, let us move from the transportation system itself to its wider impact. How does transportation logistics contribute to economic development? The first contribution is trade. Imagine a small Malaysian business selling products online. Without reliable transportation, that business may only be able to serve customers within its local area. Now give the same business access to a reliable nationwide parcel network. Suddenly, it can reach customers throughout Malaysia. With appropriate international logistics, it may even reach overseas customers. Transportation therefore expands market access. This applies not only to small businesses, manufacturers, agricultural producers, retailers, and exporters all depend on transportation to connect production with markets. The second contribution is productivity. Reliable transportation reduces unnecessary delays. It can also help companies reduce inventory. Why? Because if deliveries are predictable, businesses do not need to keep as much additional inventory simply to protect themselves against uncertain transportation. This supports lean inventory and just-in-time operations. Lower inventory can reduce storage costs and improve the use of working capital. Transportation logistics also creates employment. Think about how many occupations are connected to logistics. Drivers, warehouse operators, fleet managers, customs specialists, logistics planners, its specialists, and customer service personnel are all part of the system. Transportation also supports other industries such as vehicle maintenance, fuel supply, packaging, insurance, and technology. This creates a multiplier effect. Another important area is e-commerce. Online businesses depend on reliable fulfillment and delivery. A customer may find an excellent product online, but if delivery is consistently unreliable, that customer may hesitate to purchase again. Efficient logistics therefore supports both sellers and consumer confidence in the digital economy. Transportation also affects national competitiveness. Countries with reliable logistics networks can offer businesses lower costs, shorter lead times, and stronger international connectivity. This can encourage exports and attract foreign direct investment or FDI. So do not simply say, transportation helps economic growth. Explain the mechanism. Better transportation improves market access. Better market access supports trade. Reliable logistics can reduce business costs. Lower costs can improve productivity. Strong logistics networks can encourage exports and investment. Now, let us look more closely at one particular mode, air transportation. Air freight is relatively expensive, so it is not appropriate for every product. Its economic value comes mainly from speed and reliability. Think about semiconductors, pharmaceuticals, medical devices, or other high-value products. These products may need to reach international customers quickly. Air logistics allows export-oriented industries to respond rapidly to global demand. It can also protect production continuity. Imagine a manufacturer urgently needs a critical electronic component. Without that component, an entire production line may stop. Sea freight could take much longer. Air freight may deliver the component quickly enough to avoid a major production disruption. Air logistics can also influence foreign investment. Multinational companies look at whether a country has the infrastructure and international connectivity required to support their operations. Efficient airports and cargo networks can therefore make a country more attractive as a manufacturing or distribution location. Air transportation also supports high-value industries such as healthcare, biotechnology, precision engineering, and advanced manufacturing. And there is another contribution, national resilience. During a pandemic, natural disaster, or major supply disruption, air cargo can rapidly move essential medical supplies, emergency equipment, and critical components. So when you think about air logistics, remember 4 major ideas: exports, responsiveness, investment, and resilience. We have now connected transportation with economic growth, but businesses still face a practical decision every day: which transportation mode should they actually use? Road, air, sea, rail, or a combination? We will bring everything together by answering that question. Now let us bring these ideas together by looking at the major forms of transportation logistics management. The most important principle here is simple. There is no single transportation mode that is best for every situation. You need to match the mode with the logistics requirement. Let us begin with road transportation. The main advantage of road transport is flexibility. Trucks and vans can provide direct door-to-door service and reach locations that ships, aircraft, and trains cannot. This makes road transportation especially important for domestic distribution and last-mile delivery. However, road transportation can be affected by congestion, fuel costs, driver shortages, and road conditions. Next is air transportation. As we discussed in Part 2, air is associated with speed, reliability, and time-sensitive cargo. It is suitable for urgent documents, pharmaceuticals, medical products, electronics, and other high-value goods. But the major disadvantage is cost. Now compare this with sea transportation. Sea transport is particularly suitable for large quantities moving over long international distances. Its major advantages are capacity and relatively low transportation cost. The trade-off is speed. Sea transportation generally requires a longer transit time. So if you have a large volume of non-urgent cargo and cost is the main concern, sea transport may be more appropriate than air. Then we have rail. Rail can move large quantities efficiently over long inland distances. It may also reduce road congestion, fuel consumption, and carbon emissions. However, rail operates along fixed networks. It normally cannot provide complete door-to-door transportation. And this leads us to multimodal transportation. Multimodal transportation combines two or more modes. Imagine goods arriving internationally by sea. They are transferred to rail for the long inland journey. Trucks then complete the final delivery. Why combine modes? Because each mode has different strengths. Sea may provide economical international transportation. Rail may provide efficient inland movement. Road provides flexibility for final delivery. So transportation mode selection is really a trade-off. Ask yourself, what are we transporting? How much? How far? How quickly must it arrive? What is the budget? How important is reliability and accessibility? Those questions help you select the appropriate mode or combination of modes. Now let us finish by connecting the entire revision. There are three major relationships I want you to remember. First, transportation and government. Infrastructure investment, toll policies, customs rules, environmental regulations, and safety requirements all influence transportation operations. Second, transportation and the economy. Transportation connects producers with markets and customers. Efficient logistics can reduce costs, increase productivity, support employment, facilitate exports, and attract investment. Third, transportation mode and business requirements. Do not automatically recommend road, air, sea, or rail. Your recommendation must fit the situation. For scenario-based examination questions, use a simple structure: identify, explain, apply, impact. First, identify the relevant issue or concept. Second, explain what it means. Third, apply it directly to the scenario. Finally, explain the impact on logistics or business performance. Suppose you recommend digital traffic management. Do not simply write, the company should use digital traffic management. Explain that real-time traffic information allows transportation managers to identify congestion and adjust routes. Route adjustment can reduce delays and improve delivery reliability. More reliable deliveries can support customer service and business productivity. That is application. As you prepare for your examination, avoid memorizing isolated points. Instead, understand the relationships. Ask yourself how government decisions affect transportation, how transportation affects businesses, how logistics contributes to economic development, and why one transportation mode may be more appropriate than another. If you understand those relationships, you will be in a much stronger position to analyze an unfamiliar scenario. That brings us to the end of our transportation and logistics issues revision. Read each scenario carefully. Identify what the question is really asking. Apply the correct concept. Explain the connection clearly, and always show the impact. I wish you all the very best in your final examination. Manage your time carefully, stay focused, and give your best effort. Good luck.